Thank you. Senator Schiff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Fordyce, thank you for being here. I appreciate your work. During the first Trump administration, you oversaw the implementation of the Market Facilitation Program, as well as the Wildfire and Hurricane Indemnity Program. Both of those programs were implemented in such a way that, as I talked to farmers throughout California, they found that they had a lot of difficulty in accessing them because of the different nature of the specialty crops they grow than farmers in other parts of the country. Will you commit to working with me to ensure that any future rollout of USDA financial assistance is more fairly distributed? That is, that specialty crop farmers are equally able to access it as other farmers?
Yes, Senator, and thank you for that question. And you know, I do appreciate very much the agriculture nature of the state of California. It is the most agriculture diverse state in the country. And I appreciate that and understand that fairly well. I wouldn't want to completely tell you that I know how all of those crops are grown, but do appreciate that. You know, and I think you make a good point on the programs that you mentioned, and part of that was due to the fact that the agencies had not worked with those commodities, those crops, and those growers really before. And so, you know, I felt like we were fairly innovative in trying to get the word out and the message out, and certainly through our outreach programs and communications programs, attempted to do that more on a personal level. But then we discovered that it would work much better if we were having those conversations with the organizations that represent those growers. And so United Fresh and others were organizations that we partnered with, which we had never partnered with before, to get that information out. And it was a little bit, it was probably a little bit of a slow start at the beginning of the program, but I think it became quite robust by the end of both of the programs that you mentioned. But absolutely, I would commit to working with you if there's another program similar to that to make sure we're talking to the right folks and getting the right message out there.
Great. I appreciate that, and we're happy to help facilitate those meetings with those associations. I also want to raise a concern about USDA's ongoing rollout of disaster funding as authorized by the American Relief Act of 2025. First, I'm concerned that the rules USDA has created in establishing block grants for states which face disaster in the past few years make it pretty much impossible for California to receive aid. Second, I hope that in the second round of the Supplemental Disaster Relief Program that it's developed in such a way that specialty crop and diversified farmers may more easily access relief. I recently sent a letter to the administration on this issue, and I know you're not currently a USDA, but are you committed to working together on this matter and others so that we can make sure that California and specialty crop producers more generally receive their fair degree of USDA support? And just to give an illustration, some of the disaster relief is focused on hurricanes and only hurricanes. We've had hurricanes that turned into tropical storms when they went inland that did a lot of damage. And of course, we've been ravaged by atmospheric rivers and the flooding that they result in, and fires. And so to exclude certain disasters and only include others that, frankly, are visited on other states seems very inequitable for the West. So I want to make sure you're committed to working on that issue as well to make sure that these decisions are made in a nonpartisan and non-geographic way that is accessible for all farmers throughout the country.
Yes, Senator, absolutely would commit to that. And I can't speak much to the progress of those disaster programs or the cause of loss for the declarations, but yes, would commit to certainly working with you moving forward.
One other issue, if I could. Over a third of the country's vegetables and 3/4 of the country's fruits and nuts are grown in California, but just 9% of farms growing specialty crops are insured. Given your past experience at USDA, can you speak to the challenges that specialty crop producers face in accessing crop insurance and what you think you can do as Undersecretary to address it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you know, I know that the Risk Management Agency or the NAP program through the Farm Service Agency ensures, and we talked about this just a little bit ago, and I'm not sure how many crops that is, but it's a lot. And, you know, I think if there's not a safety net risk management product available to a specific crop grown in California, there is a process at RMA by which we can start the process to look at the opportunities to potentially have a product that is available to them. But I would commit that we'll be taking a look at that.
I appreciate it. And I think some of the challenge, Chairman, is that these specialty crops and trees that are a long-term investment are really different, and some of the historic practices that go into some of these grant applications are more suitable and easier to access if you're a commodity crop grower. So it may also require some modifications to make sure that all farmers can participate. But thank you, Mr.